I always got on the school bus 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back. And it was a very select group of us that did this and went on this program. Not everyone made it to the place that I made it at today because it was so rigorous and mentally exhausting that it even impacted the way that a lot of us thought. That's because our biggest enemy of thinking is reacting. We were reacting to our situation that was very different. We were in a completely different culture than we were when we were growing up. You know, the language that I speak here today, you know, I got from everything that I did, but if you talk how you talk back home in a white area, they're not going to respond to you the exact same way that they would in the people in that area. When you react to how people are responding or your situation and you refuse to think, that is your biggest detriment. I heard you guys talking to Hartford and about how you get in those jobs and all the interviews. You know, a lot of us get nervous in interviews because we react to not knowing something. Someone asks us a question and we just react immediately and we never take a deep breath and think about the question that we're at and the ability and knowledge that we have. You guys know what reacting is. This is an easy one. But a sudden reaction is, so I'll give some examples. My wife and I, we've been married for 2 years and we're considering going on to the next stage and being parents. So, you know, I came up with this example because this is a thought in my head, but for y'all, I might be like, hey, I ain't thinking about that. But pregnancy news. Let's say the first time you hear pregnancy news. See, look, y'all like, nah, I ain't trying. Let's say the first time you hear pregnancy news. At first you probably get nervous. Like, oh my God, like the next stage of my life is starting. This is terrifying. That's a reaction. That's a reaction. A thinking process would be, okay, I now acquired that knowledge. Now, how do I apply my knowledge and skills? I have a plan for parenthood. The things that we do in our house is set up, baby-proof in the house, everything that we do. You know, you have to go into the thinking stage. If you stop with reacting, you're really going to hurt yourself. Hey, do we move the laptop? All right. So I'm looking at my notes, so I gotta make sure I'm getting everything. All right. You know, like I said, I work in tech, and now my business is called Pitch Play Co. And what we do is we help people build their tech careers, and a lot of our clients are now dealing with layoffs. The mentality when they get to me is very, very devastating because they're reacting to the news that I just got laid off. They never go into the thinking stage. A lot of them really, really let that impact their lives. You know, we're talking about AIs right now, and you guys are the next generation or next wave of generation and going to make a real splash in the AI industry. But I'll tell you something, when I first heard it, I was terrified. I was like, uh-oh, Ultron. That's what I was thinking. I was not prepared for this news because I reacted to just how sudden and quick it just hit our ecosystem. It's not Twitter anymore, you know, it's X now, but you know, back when Twitter first came out, you could subtweet because your network was real small. It wasn't global, like everyone would see your tweet, just the people in your circle. So you want to say something about somebody, sometimes you subtweet their regrettable tweets. You're reacting to how they made you feel in that moment, and you get them Twitter fingers. You start reacting, and you start doing things that you regret in the long run. Arguing with a fool. I know everybody here can remember their last argument they had that they wish they didn't have with somebody. When you argue with a fool, you're reacting to how they make you feel in that moment. You just gotta let them know, you ain't about to talk to me like that. And you just go out and you say something that you might regret. There's this wise quote: if you see a fool and a wise man arguing in the street, how do you know which one is a wise man? Those are reacting, the reactions. I'm reacting to what someone is saying to me, doing to me, how I feel in the moment, but I'm not taking the time to acquire that knowledge and apply my own knowledge and skills. I'm just learning what's happening and I'm just reacting. Oh, I got that. Reacting is the greatest ally of temptation. The biggest detriment to thinking is reacting. You guys are about to go into the professional world and you're going to have to deal with, it doesn't get easier, I'll say it like that. It gets harder. It's not as easy as school, college. You know, I miss those days. I never thought I'd say that. I miss those days. I couldn't even stand school. I still don't like the concept of school, but I'm going back to get my PhD because I understand the importance of education. But you're going into the next phase of your life, and if you continue reacting to everything that comes your way and you never take the time to think, it's really going to hurt you in the long run. So I told you the reactions about the pregnancy news, devastated by layoffs, terrified of AIs, or at least I was, regrettable tweets. Now, what if I told you the thinking different? The thinking process, you would think of that completely different. Instead of being nervous about pregnancy news, I now start planning for parenthood. You know, instead of being devastated about being laid off from a job, I actually start planning my next career move. I go get a career coach. I start to, hey, you know what? I want to be an entrepreneur. I might even start my own business. I'm now looking at that perspective different. Instead of being devastated, I'm now planning my next phase in life. Terrified of AIs, why not just understand the impact and how can I benefit from that? Regrettable tweets. How about just thought-provoking posts? Instead of saying, why did this situation happen to me, say, what can I learn from it? And lastly, arguing with the fool. What's the easiest thing to do when you instead of arguing with the fool, just walk away. And I know that's hard. Some of y'all are like, nah, I can't let them have that one. But no, just walk away. Trust me, the long term is what matters. Because if you react in that moment, you might even say something you regret and you're like, dang, he got a point, or she got a point. I be hating that when I argue with somebody. I'm like, dang, it was right. And I told them about themselves. I feel foolish from doing that. So I accidentally went to the next one, so that's all good. Here's this book called Think and Grow Rich. The artist's name is Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill is no longer alive with us. But Think and Grow Rich is one of the most powerful books I've ever read outside of the Bible. Consider this. It does not say do and grow rich, plan and grow rich, work and grow rich. Think and grow rich. Thinking is the most powerful thing that you can do. All of your power is in your head. Because your thoughts, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. I never smoked before when I was in college or when I was in high school or anything like that. But it wasn't until I was 25 years old, a friend brought over an edible. Man, I had the time of my life that day. That was crazy. I never experienced anything like that. But I found out later throughout my life that my family actually has, what's it called? It's hereditary. It's addictive personality, I just call it like that. That typically we do substances or something that makes us feel good to the next level. We blow it out of proportion. And that eventually became a habit of mine. High every day. I used to manage people all over the world, Costa Rica, India, Bulgaria. And I had a meeting with these Asian stakeholders, I think they were in Singapore. And I'm telling myself, all right, if I take this edible at 6, I'll be ready for a meeting at 10. Man, I was talking in the meeting, I just stopped talking halfway through. Because I was just like, I was in my head, I just said, they just looked at me, it was virtual. They're like, hey, it's the breeze. I was just nervous. Just my thinking wasn't there. Ironically enough, I did kill that meeting, but it became my habit. I started doing these actions all the time, and next thing you know, that's who I was. Watch your words, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. While I was talking about reacting, the biggest reason I was bringing that up, I'm letting you guys know to never, ever stop thinking. Even as you listen to my words right now, you're just learning. Go home, reflect, think on these things. Think on your own personal life. And I'm going to give y'all the keys. I'm not just breaking down the concept. I'm going to teach y'all how I really transform my life and how you, professionally and personally, and how you'll do the same. Now I can't see my laptop, so let's see what's next. Ooh, we just got to the best part. We just got to critical. That's why we're here. Critical thinking. So if thoughts are that powerful, it controls everything that we do. Even the words I'm telling you right now, I've been here. I've been thinking about this since Odie told me, hey, I want you to come present. This was weeks ago. I seen you guys weeks ago. I knew that if this was a free scholarship meeting, this thing would be packed. I planned for this. I knew this. I thought about this significantly. I'm going to tell y'all about critical thinking. So let's define critical just so that we all understand my mentality. So having a decisive or crucial importance in the success, failure, or existence of something. Success, failure, or existence of something. Crucial, critical. If your Thinking controls all those different things. And there's two types of people in this room. People that say I can, people that say I can't. And not a single person in this room is wrong. That's a critical thought. If you say you can do something, you're gonna make it happen. If you say you can't, you're never gonna try. That's a critical thought. You're about to go into an interview, or you're about to meet these people at Hartford. You're about to plan for your next life. You're gonna network with every single person in this room. How are you thinking about, what's that critical thought that you're about to have and go, how am I about to network with this individual to plan for the long run? I was talking to Jack, and I was, you asked me if I was at an event. And it's funny, I'm at events all the time, literally all the time, but every single time I go, the reason I wanted to talk to you and ask you guys your name, ask you your name, Tyler, is because I'm thinking about the long run. I never know who Jack is going to be. And you got to tell me your name, bro. JT. I remember being in this with JT. You never know who these people are going to be. If you react to somebody in the room based off how they look, and you go, I don't need to network with him, I don't need to know her, you're not thinking. You're reacting to how that person looks. You don't know the thoughts in these people's head right next to you. You have no idea who you sit next to. None. That's a critical thought. Having a decisive or crucial importance in the success, failure, or existence of something. The power in this room right here, this could be the cure for cancer at this table. Any world hunger at this table. But a lot of us, we just react, well, I don't need that, I don't need that. And they just go on to the next person. That's not, you're not thinking at that point, and that's definitely not a critical thought.